the significance, the transcendence of communion. And why? Because communion is salvation of souls. Jesus rescues the soul every time we take communion, because we are these vessels of reparation. And imagine when we are adoring the Blessed Sacrament, Jesus is rescuing souls and stopping the works of Satan in the territory that covers that particular adoration. You can take it back to Gethsemane. When Jesus chose James, John, and Peter to give him company in Gethsemane, he was asking them not to fall asleep. And you will ask yourself, Jesus is God, and the apostles were not right beside him. They were at a short distance. And you wonder, why did he want them awake and giving him company? What kind of company was that? It was a mystical company. It was not a physical company, because if he would have been physical, he would have had them right next to him. But they were a distance away. So they were a mystical company. But he wanted that mystical company to be awake. And this is us before the Blessed Sacrament in adoration. We are James, John, and Peter. And Jesus don't want us to be asleep. He wants us to be vigilant. Why? Because while we are in adoration, Jesus is stopping lots of work of the devil. And we are used as instruments in order to repair and save souls in the flesh, people that are still in the flesh. So for us to be protected in the flesh, God uses the flesh for that protection. That's why we have the priest. That's why we have prayer and intercession. That's why we have the Eucharist as a means of reparation and rescuing of souls. It is needed. That's why Jesus took flesh. Because we know God could have done the redemption without taking a flesh. God is capable of everything. There's nothing impossible for God. But look how curious God's ways are. Sometimes he heals a blind man, but before healing it, he picked mud from the ground, spit on it, place it on his eyes, and those things that are absurd. He didn't need to do that. In other times, he healed a blind person without even touching the person. But you notice this little pedagogy, this little activity of Jesus with the material things and the material world, how he deals with it. And then he will send one to bathe in a pool. See, and this is the way he works with us. One time, I had a heart attack in Dublin, like year 2004. And before my heart attack, I was in Poland, in Krakow, in a Divine Mercy Congress, and I got really sick there. And John Paul II had sent a cardiological bus to Poland to help the poor. And that bus happened to be outside the basilica there. So a nun from St. Faustina's community, I was next to be a speaker in the conference, and this nun came to me and said, "You look pale, are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not okay. I don't feel good." And she said, "Come with me." And she took me out to the bus that was outside. And there was this black cardiologist, huge man, African. And he laid me down there and put all kinds of technology on me. And he said, "You are not well of your heart. As soon as you come out of here, you have to go to the hospital. I'm going to give you this and that." So he brought me back. I came back and gave my talk. And since I was feeling good, I forgot. And I continued my mission for a few weeks. I ended up in Dublin, and I ended up in emergency room. And I happened to end up in a cardiological hospital, St. James Hospital in Dublin. And it was specialized in cardiology. So to make the story short, when I was intervened, the Lord showed me how my time was up. Because of my past life, I abused myself so badly that I had no more life. See? And Satan was picking me up, really not to take me to hell, but picking up my temporary life, because I abused it, I overused it, and the time was up. But because of the 4 years of missions that I had already, the Lord showed me how He built some kind of a bridge between this moment of dying and the new life I had. And then He gave me the opportunity to bounce back. And He gave me an extra time of life. And the devil left. And it lasted 10 years more, no, 13 years more. Year 2017, again, heart attack, Fort Worth, Texas. This time they had to open my heart, open heart surgery. Same thing. Another bridge was built. And I'm on a bridge right now as you see me. I'm walking. I'm on a bridge of mercy. And I'm saying all of this because we understand the walk of life and how we are picking up the pieces of our life according to our deeds, according to what we do with this life. But God is perfectly walking with us. And it's amazing God's justice, how it manifests, and how He wants us to give Him 100%. But He also knows our hearts. He knows the intentions of our hearts.